And blessings, family. As always, Black Power, Hotep, giving honor and my most distinct and gracious honor to the Creator and the ancestors for allowing this event to take place today. Also, giving honor to my queen, Queen Shaka Sankofa, giving honor to my mother, my father, who was in the ancestral realm, my biological brothers and sisters, and the brothers and sisters who are fighting in the liberation and struggle for our salvation and liberation throughout the black nation. Also to Brother Ali, Brother Sarah Student Study, Brother Young Pharaoh, Brother Mark from Before and After Barbershop, one of the few black-owned businesses that I'm aware of that exist in Washington, D.C. Brother Harris Abdul, our Chief of Staff of the Street Law Soldiers, and all our brothers and sisters all over the United States of America. What I want to talk to you about today is relationships, in terms of the relationships that we have with ourselves, that we have with our significant others, that we have with family, that we have with people in our daily walk. Because if you get to the core issues of this, self-hatred is the underlying factor in all of our relationships that we have with people other than ourselves, because the self-hatred is embedded in us so deep that those of us who think that or proclaim to be so conscious and so revolutionized in terms of our thinking, in terms of our everyday living and walk, that sometimes, in some cases, those individuals have more white supremacy and racism in them than those that are asleep. And it's easy to see based on the fact that when it's always time for us to step to this cracker, the fear kicks in. Even with the so-called, like I said, even with our so-called scholars, this fear kicks in where we're ready to start compromising and hoping that we don't have to use the methods of going to war with this motherfucking cracker. We come up with all these different solutions, these false solutions, such as, we don't have to fight him and we don't have to be like him. We can use books and we can outthink him and all this bullshit, and it doesn't work. When have you ever known in the history of man where there has been a war where someone won with books? It's never been heard of. We're the only ones who come up with some dumb, idiotic shit like that. Instead of fighting this motherfucking cracker head up, because that's the only language he understands. The only language he doesn't understand, English, Spanish, and French, Russian. The only language he understands is foot in ass. That's the only language this cracker understands. That's the only language that he'll respect, is when you go straight up to war with his motherfucking ass. We go to war with everybody else. We go to war with each other. Matter of fact, we go all out when it comes to dealing with somebody that looks like you. Some of you motherfuckers have dreams that you have rode down and taken the lives of brothers and sisters that look like you. So when are we gonna wake up and deal with this motherfucking cracker, man? Like we're supposed to deal with him. But once again, let me retract this statement. When it comes to us, we can't wait to ride down on one another and kill one another and slaughter one another, and they have movies. These crackers make movies about us doing that, and we enjoy doing that shit, because the majority of you all, that's where you get your techniques on murdering somebody that looks like you through the movies. You know, shooting guns sideways and all that bullshit. That shit is that, you know, even though that shit is that's unreal. You can't even fire a weapon like that. You know, with no accuracy anyway. You know, and but when it comes to dealing with this cracker, we come up with so many different fucked up solutions on how to attack this motherfucker so we can get where we're supposed to be. You know, getting what's ours. Our ancestors built this motherfucking country, and we get none of the benefits. Everybody else gets benefits, and then we're the only ones that wanna with this we shall overcome and we're all one color and there's only one race bullshit. We're the only motherfucking ones that do that. Nobody else does that. The Asians, the Chinese, the motherfucking gooks, them motherfuckers, they don't allow you to work in their carryouts or none of that shit. They don't buy any hot shit off the streets from none of you niggas. They stick with their own. The Latino family, they do the same thing. It's bad, and the only time they want to lock arms with us is when their asses is in a sling. Just like now, when soon as Donald Trump mentioned that he was going to start mass exodus and deportation of these motherfuckers, then now they want to link arms with black people. You know, nobody else does that shit but us. And then when the Africans when they come from the motherland, you know, because a lot of them have been indoctrinated to not have any interactions with us once they get over here. But then when they get over here and they find out that the American dream is just a goddamn nightmare to them and they got to work 3 and 4 fucking jobs, then some of them will, will have an understanding of what we have went through. But the majority of them stinking motherfuckers, they come over here, you know, they turn their nose up at us, you know, because they can't understand why we don't have a stake in this motherfucking country in terms of the economic status, you know, until they get over here, because the police will pull them over and they're nothing but niggas too, no matter how much you talk that broken French shit, because you're not talking African. That's only broken British shit, because when the British colonized Africa, you changed your language. And most of you all that come over here, you give up all your spiritual African traditions, and then you get with the Catholic Church, you know, and the white priests come over here. The white priest come over there, you look at him as his God. And most of them come over there with the intentions of raping the little boys over there and brainwashing them, making them think that they're being fucked in the ass by God. And they buy into that. So when they come over here, they have a preconceived notion and a preconceived level of hatred towards us and a dislike towards us. You know, but they're beginning to get their wake up calls too. You know, so we're the only ones that are pacified. We don't know our language. We don't celebrate, and we don't embrace our culture. We dress like everybody. We look like everybody. We try to be like everybody else, except who we're supposed to be. And then when you see a brother or sister dressed in their traditional garb, and they're trying their best to relink themselves with their history and their culture, you say, oh, that's that black shit, that's that African shit. Or then when you hear brother or sister talking about our historic journey since we've been in civilization, the first thing you say, the first thing a lot of you think is, if you have any level of intelligence, a black man or black woman, the first thing you think is they are a Muslim, or there he goes talking that black shit. But what other shit are you supposed to talk about? You know, because any other shit you talk about is the white shit. But yet you say you're not white and all this shit, you're pro-black, but you're nothing but a dark-skinned motherfucking European. based on your behavior. And it's just as simple as that. And we have to learn to deprogram ourselves from this Eurocentric bullshit, this Eurocentric mindset. When a brother's clean, he has a European suit on. Oh, he's sharp as a motherfucker. But if he have on a dashiki, then, you know, they think he's African, or which we are African, because we don't want to accept that either. Every time we bring up Africa, the motherland, you know, our own people turn their nose up. Oh, I'm not an African, I'm an American. You're not an American. Even though you live here, even though you were born here and brainwashed and raised here in this fucking on this fucking plantation. You know what I'm saying? You are an African by heart, because we never had no formal initiation in terms of being sworn in as U.S. citizens over in this bitch. You know, even though if you do the history of it, some of us we were over here before anybody else was here. Before anybody else came here, we were here. But that don't make us Americans. Just because you were here before everybody else, you got here first. But that don't have nothing to do with where you come from, because you had to come from somewhere to get to somewhere. And so when we mention Africa, nobody wants to be African. Everybody wants to be everything but African. Nobody wants to practice their culture. Nobody wants to practice an African spiritual principles or none of that. And we are this Christianity, which has brainwashed and fucked up the minds of millions of our people, and still on a daily and consistent basis still have our people fucked all up. Islam does too, even though Islam has just a pinch of more structure than Christianity, but it's a derivative from Christianity. And we some of the most povertized blacks in this country are the most so-called spiritually inclined Christians. Believing that they supposed to just suffer and die and live with rats and roaches and poverty all their life, because when they die, they're going to be walking on gold bricks and all this bullshit up in the motherfucking sky. That's the shit. That's the bullshit that the slave masters was telling our ancestors. And most of them bought into that bullshit. Singing, when we gonna go, when we get to heaven, I won't go to heaven, and all that bullshit. And dealing and living in that motherfucking illusion, that have us fucked up on a daily and consistent basis. You hear sisters talking about, I don't need no man. All I need is my vibrator and Jesus. And long as the cracker is giving them, because the cracker looks out for the bed wenches. They are very well taken care of. Very well taken care of. They give them all the security guard job. They give them all the black male positions. As long as they don't incorporate the black male into their lives, into their circle, then they'll get all the benefits and trinkets that and the crumbs that the cracker has to offer them. And that goes all the way back from, like, Section 8 goes all the way back to slavery. When they used to come in the cabins looking to see if the man has been in there, bringing dogs in there to sniff his scent to see if he's been in the cabins at night to visit his seeds and his queen. And it's the same way with Section 8. The sisters got to put all the brothers' clothes and shit and hide all the shit, or any traces of him ever even being in that house. All that shit has to be hidden and disclosed. If not, she'll lose her benefits for having a king up in that house, because it's designed for these sisters not to have a man. And they're telling them, you don't need a black god. All you need is your white slave master, supervisor, slave driver, and And these toys, these perverted toys, these dildos and vibrators, all this perverted ass shit, you know, and your religion. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when are we gonna wake up out of this shit? When is the time gonna come when we actually wake up and understand that we're under the hypnosis of this motherfucking racism, white supremacy, which is a system, which I give Dr. Francis Cress Welsing so much credit and honors, and Dr. Neely Fuller, and others and several others who have devoted their lives into trying to wake our people up and teach our people about the system of racism, white supremacy. You know, but we don't want to accept that. You know, we've come a long way, and it's not like it used to be. No, it's not like it used to be, because it's worse than it used to be. It's far worse. You know, at least during slavery, the slaves, you know, they had goals of escaping and creating their own civilizations and their own dwellings, and having their families together and as one unit, as one nation. Here, every man for himself. You know, you actually see people ride past and walk past and turn their nose up at the brothers and sisters just got cups and shit at the traffic, like begging for food and begging for change so they can get food or whatever. But the excuse we use, no, I'm not going to give them because they're going to buy alcohol or drugs with the money. You know, but you don't know that. You don't really know that for sure. You don't know half of, you know, and most of these people had a decent life at one time. And being in the United Snakes of America can blow a gasket mentally in your head. You know, where you struggling every day. You know, the pressure of living paycheck to paycheck. You know, if you're fired, then that means the pressure's on. You might have to end up getting evicted. Your children your children are on the street. You have to go live in a shelter. You know, some of our people have endured some of the most horrific goddamn situations that a human being can endure, you know, in terms of survival in this fucking country. You know, but the crackers don't have that problem. You know, they never have a problem in terms of trying to make ends meet and trying to put two pieces of motherfucking bread together to make a fucking sandwich. They have no idea of what that type of life consists of. You know, only problems that, you know, you hear them cry about when they max their motherfucking credit card out, or when their motherfucking dog dies. You know, which, you know, half of them, you know, sleeping with these motherfucking animals. Bestiality is at an all-time high. You know, they tan these dogs' asses up in these homes. And, you know, and that's why they say the dog is man's best friend. It's not my best friend. My queen is my motherfucking best friend. You know, my family is my best friend. My circle is my best friend. No goddamn animal my motherfucking best friend. But to the cracker it is, because in the caves, when they were in the caves in Europe, that's what they did. They fucked them dogs in the ass. You know, them white bitches, you know, gave them motherfucking animals, them sheeps and them goddamn dogs, blowjobs and all that shit. You know, because you still see it now on bestiality. On they got video clips of these motherfuckers doing that, because in the caves, when they were in the Caucasus Mountains, these motherfuckers developed a whole different culture and lifestyle of eating animals while they still were alive, just stabbing them and then eating them, drinking motherfucking blood, fucking goddamn sheep and dogs, you know, dragging their women by their hair, you know, drinking menstrual blood from the white bitch, you know, and, you know, not taking baths and shit like that, because in Europe during when they call it the Dark Ages, but everything is dark to these motherfuckers. You know, they had all types of sickness. They had all types of illnesses and shit. You know, that's where chicken pox come from, because these motherfuckers was laying with chickens and finger popping motherfucking hens and all types of shit. You know, and that's where all these diseases, they have thousands and thousands of diseases. They have so many fucking diseases, they start naming them after motherfucking people. Lou Gehrig's, all this old shit, man. Alzheimer's and, you know, what's the, Tommy John and all this bullshit. You know, because of, they are walking germs. They are walking germs. These motherfuckers in the wintertime, you know, they jump in beaches when it's snowing and all this bullshit naked, you know, because they are icemen. These motherfuckers are icemen. They are walking goddamn germs. And when it's cold, they give out of them. It's an ammonia type gas that comes off of these motherfuckers. You know, that's why they love the cold. You know, their nostrils are closed in because they have small nostrils and little pointy motherfucking noses like dogs, because they had to keep the brain warm in those cold ass climates. Opposed to us, we have wide nostrils because we come from a very hot climate, and we have wide nostrils so more air can come to the brain to keep the brain cool during the heat. You know, but then you got some of these, you know, some of our people love these motherfucking crackers, man. You know, I don't know when, you know, you motherfuckers are going to wake up and see, you know, the culture that this motherfucker has. That's why they like that. You know, if they go to a restaurant and you bring them a motherfucking steak that's well done, they'll cuss the goddamn chef out. You know, because if it's not blood all on the motherfucking plate, and then they eating candlelight. That's why they like candlelight, because in the caves they ate while it was dark with motherfucking fire, sticks of fire, and all that shit. That's why they like to eat outside with candlelights and shit, flies and all that bullshit. You know, landing on their motherfucking food and all that type of shit, man. Just a goddamn savage. Just a complete motherfucking savage. You know, and we try to incorporate that type of behavior just to be accepted by these motherfuckers. You know, so you know, Brother Dawa, General Sarah Sugan, you know, they had put this shit out there. You know, get the making of the white man, and what's it's something. Brother Dawa has a DVD out called something about tan a new ass or something. I forgot the name of it. But you need to get those DVDs and study these DVDs carefully so you can understand the culture, the thought process, and the social behavior of this motherfucking cracker, man. You know, because like I said, if you look in their history, all they have done, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth, they have caused nothing but complete fucking bloodshed and destruction to every culture, every nationality, every race of people that they have come in contact with. And they have taken shit, plagiarized it, and claimed it as theirs, and we buy into it. We don't want to change the public food system, which is, you know, because that's what they do. They make fools out of our babies, teaching them, militarizing them, sexualizing these babies, you know, and miseducating them, you know, and have them thinking that reality is false, you know, and falsehood is reality, you know, having them putting cartoons on like SpongeBob, a motherfucking cartoon about a gay sponge, a fucking sponge, you know, Family Guy, where they practice bestiality. The motherfucking dog is fucking men. He's fucking transvestites. This motherfucker drives a car. The little baby is 1 year old. He has a cell phone with a picture of a man's abs on it. He wants to be a homosexual, you know, and they hate the women. Because the little baby, his dream is to kill his mother, you know, and that's that Oedipus shit, you know, and they put this shit out every day, and then it's reinforced by niggas. Tyler Perry comes on, and Lee Daniels, this black faggot ass crazy motherfucker who's married to a white man, a white Jew, and he's adopted his brother's sons, and says that they will never know anything about black history. He said only thing they're gonna watch is Schindler's List about the Jews, because his motherfucking husband is a motherfucking so-called white imposter Jew. You know, and all they make is movies. Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, Halle Berry. All they make movies about is fucking pain, incest, rape, homosexuality, and we buy into that. You know, fucking Precious and all that, Monsters Ball. You know, Power. You know, where the homosexual boy is he's the pride and joy of the motherfucking show. He does no wrong. Everybody else does wrong. You know, Power, dealing with lesbianism and shit. You know, with 50 Cent. You know, and I'll get into that when I talk about these entertainers and rappers and shit, of how they had to hit the director's couch too to get record deals and certain endorsements and shit. You know. But right now I'm getting ready to go back to the lab and dig into some research. And I'll be getting back with you all later. And we're going to discuss some more things, because like I said, I keep this shit real. I don't try to intellectualize a lot of shit. I don't try to formalize a lot of shit. I just come straight. I shoot straight from the motherfucking hip. You know, you may not like what I'm saying, but if you put all that, your differences to the side, and look at the information, you'll see that the shit is valid. You know. However, I'm gonna get back to y'all shortly. And another thing, if you're European or if you're married to a European, these video clips are not for your ass. So, you know, I'm giving you a heads up warning with some respect. So have some respect for yourself. Peace.